Hello everyone, welcome to day 180 of playing chess every day for you. Let's find the game. We get e4, so I'll play the Caro-Kann. They push e5, which I actually haven't seen that often. I think it could be best to play just a simple e6 to take the center. I could play d5 and take en passant, but I mean d5 they take en passant and I have to take with the queen, which I don't really like. f6 seems good, but then they play d4 and after recaptures I don't like having to give up my center. I'll actually play e6 here, just solidly. I've never seen e5. That's a very weird looking move. I think pushing could be the best way to deal with this, because I'd love to develop my knight, so I'll play c5. They choose to play c3, but this is such a weird way to play. I don't see the idea. I think I should just recapture and develop my knight. It would make the most sense. Recaptures. I can bring my knight into the game. My bishop is looking very trapped, but I can't do much about that at the moment. So here I should probably choose to push. My bishop doesn't have many squares to go, so I'll just develop it this way. If they block with the knight, that's good for me. I think I just develop mine. They choose to block with the bishop. I'm fine with that. I'll go for this trade. I can't take. I can't pin the knight. I could also go here to attack this, but I don't think that's so good. Maybe it's a good move because I'm threatening to... Well, I'm not threatening to take the rook, but I'm just threatening to take. f6 would seem good, but it's actually best, I think, for my knight just to develop normally, so and attack this. So I'll play knight to e7 and knight to f5 to attack this. If they have a push, I just take. They go for the pin, but I'm actually fine with them taking. I don't actually have to do anything there. I can just attack this, which would threaten the fork. I also have this, which attacks the bishop. I do like this move, attacking the bishop. I could also just develop and then threaten to fork them. If I go here, they can take. Then I take. If I go here and they don't take, it's actually very good for me, so that's what I'll play for. If they push now, I just take. So they have to take now, which they do. I'm fine by that because this allows my light squared bishop to develop. I'll probably see them castle now, and they do. So I could actually choose to play bishop b7 and then push, trade the knight off and win a pawn, which seems quite good. I could castle now, but I don't have to. I'll play bishop b7 with the idea of pushing to win a pawn. Although they take here, they take away from the center. That has to be a terrible move. They can jump in with check, which would win my bishop, which is actually very annoying, but it's protected right now. So I do not see the idea of that move. And if I push, I'm the one that's attacking the knight, so they cannot jump in because I just take. I am allowing them to take here now, but I just take here. If they take here, I take this way. I'm not sure why I'm missing here. So they have no checks. They have a pawn, but I'm taking this one. And then I can just drop back. This isn't a threat. I just move my queen. Yeah, I just take here. I'm very happy with this. I could probably even go back to f5. But I think it's best to go c6 to attack this. If they jump here, I simply just play this. I do have to be careful if they go here, because this would be a fork. If my queen was on this or... I'm not actually sure though. I think knight to c6 is just good for me. I can bring this rook in as well to temper the knight. Then it goes here. They attack my knight this way, but I don't think this is good. I can just go back to c6. They won't threaten to take. I just go back to c6 and then I'm threatening to take here, which still protects this. Takes, takes. Well, takes, 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 takes. I don't see anything wrong with that. This is protected twice, so it's completely fine. I have the option of pushing, but not at the moment. I could also play rook c8, which would threaten two pieces at once. They defend that way, but I mean rook c8 looks very good. But then they play this. I think I should just castle now. Keep it simple. Although castling undefends this, and they'd be able to take, so I think rook to c8 is the best move here. If they jump in, I just slide up. I'm threatening to take because if rook takes. Actually, I'm not threatening to take, I'm threatening to play knight b4. Then they slide over. They actually double up on this. I can just slide my rook up, I think. They're threatening to take now. I can slide my rook up and I don't think they have anything there. If I slide my rook up, I'm not threatening to take, but maybe a move like this. I am defending this, and if they play this, I just have queen c8. And I think I'm fine. I think I should castle next just to keep my king safe, stop any checks. This is very weak. They could go for this, trying to win my knight, but they can't at the moment. I think I can just castle. So I don't see any knight moves that could help me. I mean, knight backs seems okay. Targets the knight has to move. I can't take because the rook would defend, so I think knight back. Knight here actually is impossible now. Knight here seems annoying. Knight there, I think I'll just actually slide up with my rook. And then the knight has to move again. Maybe knight here, I just go rook b7. Targets this. So, yeah, knight there. I was expecting this. Rook b7 seems good. Rook b7 seems completely fine. I'm attacking this. And I can afford to take because they cannot take at the moment. If knight b4, I can develop my own, I think. Maybe. I'm not sure. There is knight back to c5, which is really annoying, but I think my idea should be to try to cut the queen off from the attack and then castle. They just push. That takes away a square for the knight. Maybe if I go here, I'm threatening to win the knight because the knight could get trapped. You have to be very careful here. Well, the knight here is annoying. I can't push. I should try to cut off the queen, I think, in this position. The queen should never be able to sacrifice itself for the knight. I have an interesting idea which would be this, but that would actually be bad at the moment. It doesn't achieve much. I should probably just castle. The knight's defended. I have knight f4, but I'm not attacking the queen. The knight moves to attack my rook. I think I have this without actually hanging the rook. If I go here, they take my rook, I take this. So I go here, they take my rook. If I move though, they win the pawn, so I cannot actually move. I have to play a move like this. This is a big weakness for me. Okay, so now I see this move. I'm able to play this, and they have to move. Tempering the queen would be good, but I don't see what it achieves. Could play a6 to stop them from ever pushing, but it's probably best to double my rooks up and go for an attack on their pieces. But I can't do that at the moment. Tempering the queen, I guess, is fine. I don't see any other move with my knight. Pushing now does not seem good. Pushing, if they take, that's fine, but pushing if they take. Push, take. They're winning this. No, they can't take because the queen would take. Maybe I actually push f6 to try and get something here. I don't see. Tempering the queen seems nice, but then my knight is a terrible piece. I'll actually push f6. I don't see any ideas that I could have. I can't think of anything here. If they take, I take with the knight. If they take with the knight, I take with the pawn. My pieces from this pawn, which is actually a very strong piece. Okay, so they take this way. I have to take... I could take with the pawn, but I don't want to weaken my king that much. I think I just take with the knight, also defending this. Not able to push at the moment, but if I can trade the knight off, it would be good for me. If knight takes, I can take because the queen can't take, because that would lose the queen. Knight there. This is protected, so they're not actually threatening to take. This is weak, but if I push, they can take, because takes, rook takes. I'd actually like to push her. The knight must leave. That does weaken my king, but they're not threatening to take. If I push, there's nothing there. Although maybe the idea was to actually sacrifice the knight. But does that work? If they sacrifice the knight. This is a triple fork. They could think about knight takes e6. And I think I'd have to take. Queen takes, rook takes with check. And they win material. I'm quite sure knight takes e6 is a great move. I'm wondering if they're thinking of that. And they do find it. It's a very good move. So if I take, I win the knight, but I lose. Win the knight and queen for queen and rook. I don't like it. It's a losing endgame. If I play queen up, they take my rook. I don't like that either. I think I have to go into this. Technically, it's an even trade, but I mean, technically the material will be equal once we trade like this. Well, not really. 2 rooks for a rook and a piece, but this is going to be tough now. I have to think about playing a6, but then they can push. Or not push, they can bring their rook. I should probably try to get some counterplay on this side of the board. They're actually winning on this side of the board in a 2v1. I probably need to push now. They can get behind my pawn. I don't think that's the best move. They're not really threatening to ever take it. I have moves to force the rook away. It would take me a long time to attack this pawn. I can't move the rook, I have to defend this. I'll develop my knight. Knight takes e6 was a good move for them. It's unlucky that I didn't see that move. They could probably try and double up on this weakness with their rooks. But I can just always defend it, so this rook will be very annoying because I'm never able to push. That's a good move, stopping me from... It's stopping me from ever pushing. But I think I have this, and they have to push. I'd also have this, which would attack the rook, but I don't think that's good. I'll just go for this attack. I have to step here. And then I have this, which would fork the rook and pawn, so they have to be careful. If king here, I'm actually coming in. So they need to be careful. They can't allow me to come in, I think. And they could just push, which seems good. They play king up. I think that's a bad move, which... If I move my rook though, I lose this to check, so I need to step up first, I think. And then play this, which threatens 2 pawns. It's 2 threats in 1. They have to protect this, so I think their best move is rook e3. But then I go here. They give a check, but I'm fine with just moving away. Maybe even this way. Or if that does attack my knight, and how do I protect it? I mean, a rook trade here is not good at all. If I go here, they can play this, which would lose my knight. So I actually have to rook trade here, I think. I could, yeah, I can't step here to defend. I have to go for the rook trade. It's not good for me. Their way to win this game will be to attack this pawn. They can't really push on this side of the board. My knight's quite good. They need to be careful about blundering something like... I mean, if the king was here, they attack my knight. I don't have any... I have some moves. They're not that good. I have this move, which would seem okay, but my knight's weak. I can just go here also. Which then brings support. I could even play this move, locking the knight in, which I think is quite good. This is always protected. If they have a push. I mean, they can push, but I don't have to capture, so... Yeah, I don't have to capture anything here. I can actually start running my king to this side of the board. If they take, I just take back. But then the rook comes in, and I need to be careful. I now need to run my king up here and attack these pawns. They choose to take. After I take, they can come in with the rook, which is actually an annoying move. But I can capture and go here and bring my king here, which I don't like, but it might be necessary. And they can just start attacking the pawn, which I think they win. They actually choose to go this way, which wins a pawn straight away. If they go here with check, I have a check now. And then the king has to step here, but then I have this. My knight's quite good here, so I don't really know if I want to do anything there. I could just start running to this side of the board, but they would have a rook here, so... I have a check if the king moves. There's nothing really there. Nothing good. I don't see what else I have. I can't stop the rook from winning this pawn unless I push. But then again, they just check and win the pawn anyway, so... I probably go for a check of my own. If the king steps here, I have this. King there. Can give another check. If they step here, they don't blunder anything, but it's looking dangerous for them. If I ever go here to attack the pawn, they just give a check. So I do go for this. I can go here to attack the pawn, but they just give a check and pick up the piece which defends, so there's nothing there. I have this move to defend my pawn, and actually cut the king off, which is a nice move. But now they can attack this. I'm trying to hold on here, but it's very tough. So the king is cut off at the moment. The king can step here. They go for this, but I think now my pawn's protected, so... But if I step here, they have this. So I actually have to step here and hold everything together, I think. They can push, which I think forces me to leave this pawn. This is a weakness that I can attack. They can kick me away. I'll just go for this. Takes. This is threatened. This is threatened, and with a check. So if the king ever steps up to defend, I was going to say I have a check to win this, but they can actually just push now. Push here. Push. I actually go here. Attack the rook. They promote. They choose that, but I don't think that's good. Check forces this king to step up. I mean, I can take, and then go here, which I don't like. Check, the king just goes up. Yeah, I don't think that's good for me. I go here. If they have a push, I have knight c6, which is quite good. Protects this square. But I'm still completely lost. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else here. I have a check. It doesn't do anything. I'll go here. But they can still just push. I can give a check and try to come in behind, but that doesn't do much. All of this happened because of knight takes e6, which was a great move for them. The rook goes down. They can always just push. They can just win the pawn now with the rook e8 and take, but they choose not to. I'm unable to defend. They can make a rook win the pawn and they're just winning. King up. I have a check, but it doesn't achieve anything. They just pick up the pawn. Although this allows me to play king c7. Although king c7, they pick up my knight. Their move is just to promote, I think, although they can't at the moment. But I think even if they promote and they trade down here, they can pick up the pawn and then push. Give a check first. They do pick up the knight. I can't defend it. They can just get behind the pawn and pick it up. Yeah, and I can just resign here. I'm not gonna win this game now. Let's look at this game. They played on 85.4. I played with a 79.7. And I had 2 blunders this game. But otherwise, I played well. They had a miss and a great move, which was knight takes e6, I think. And it was. So I played against this. If they ever push, I have to play d6. Which looks weird, but it makes sense. c5 was okay. It's best just to play d6. Split the center. If they ever take, or if they allow me to take, I make the king not be able to castle. This was all okay. Not the best. Him attacking the knight, they take with the knight. It's actually best for me to go bishop d5 and control the center with a strong bishop. Taking wasn't best, it's best to castle. I don't see why, it's a free pawn. This is a blunder, because they have a fork. Why does this move force my queen away? Why play a queen here? I mean, then they have knight d6 check, which picks up material, so I guess that's why. Forces my queen away. What's the best square for my queen? Queen h4 is the best move. It doesn't really make a difference. These moves are all okay. Blocking the queen off is good. And the game is essentially drawn here. Until I make one move that loses me the game. This is completely drawn. And I'm supposed to just play Queen c8 to defend against this. Queen c8. A real weird move. This was good, the game is just drawn here. They play knight g5, which is weird. They're supposed to bring their queen to pressure these two pieces. Then h6 doesn't look or feel like a blunder, but it gives them knight takes e6. And so they go into this. My best move actually isn't to take. My best move was actually just to allow them an exchange, which is better for me. And whichever rook they take, they are winning, and it's technically the same, but I have a central pawn. So this would actually be slightly better for me. I had to play g5 here, which is a good move. Then after g5, I'm threatening. Let's say they make any sort of move. like this. I'm just threatening this. It threatens 2 pawns at once, and if they allow me to take... Oh, that comes with check, so I'd have to move first. Let's say I move, then they make another move. I have this. It's not so good, actually. What happens if they ever allow me to take? It's just not good for them at all. They have to leave. That's not what happens, though. What happens is they give a check on f8, which forces me to trade the rook off. And then I just have nothing. Yeah, they did want them to attack this, because then they can just come here and win the pawn. They allow me to actually defend myself for a bit, but in the end this is still losing anyway. Knight c6 doesn't do much. They can play rook a8. I had to go check and just give up this. Nothing really I can do here. And so I just resign here. It's an annoying loss, but it was caused by one move, h6. And we both saw this tactic. I'm not sure if they saw this tactic. If I just move my... I was thinking of moves like this. That blunder made on wonder, so no disposition. I was thinking on moves like... I'm not sure. For example, g6. But g6 is a blunder because of the same tactic. So my only move, this was already defended, my only move was queen c8, which is tough to see. I wouldn't see it defending from a distance. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.